right, guys, welcome back to another video. So one of the biggest video game conventions every single year we know is BlizzCon. It's massive. Has some of the biggest games out there with World of Warcraft. You have Overwatch that they talk about, and then everything else within that Blizzard catalog. They go over a bunch of stuff. Diablo 4, we got an announcement for the expansion. There was a bunch of cool announcements. I'm not going to go over everything, but just quick highlight. It's not like the new Overwatch character, Blizzard expansion, 3 World of Warcraft expansions, the future of that game. So it was a pretty big opening show. But one of the coolest things from the show was that Phil Spencer came out onto the stage. It is a true signal here as to what has happened in this industry where Xbox has officially acquired Activision Blizzard. He talks about Blizzard, he talks about Xbox, and the future being brighter than it has ever been under Xbox. Comes out on the stage, and here's what Phil Spencer says. We're going to empower our new colleagues in a culture of trust, inclusion, and collaboration to continue what they do best, redefining existing genres, creating new, never before seen experiences, and uniting players globally in new ways in Azeroth, in Sanctuary, in near future Earth, and beyond. And that statement there, one of the things that didn't happen at this show was they did not show that new survival game that Blizzard is working on, that people are expecting to be into the Xbox ecosystem, into Game Pass, and potentially an exclusive. I mean, we'll see what they decide to do. That it is a brand new IP, so they can go along those lines if they do want to, but I wouldn't be surprised as well if they do just release that everywhere that they can release it. Now, he continues on here, talks about some of the games. He says, think of Diablo. It propelled the action RPG genre forward. StarCraft spawned the foundation of what esports would eventually become. And with StarCraft 2, it was a major catalyst for the evolution of games as live entertainment. And that's one game I am sitting here crossing my fingers, hoping and praying that Xbox brings back with a new StarCraft. I remember when they released StarCraft 2, just how big of an event that was, and I absolutely love it. Never been that great at it, but I just enjoyed playing those games. So hopefully they come back with a new one. I mean, they came out with a Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, which is a similar game to StarCraft, and I thought they did a great job with that, and it'd be cool to see if they somehow were to adapt StarCraft to the console as well, so everybody, no matter if they're on console or on PC, are going to be able to play the game. Continues here and says, World of Warcraft changed not only how people developed and supported games, but really it introduced a wider audience to the concept of online communities. And Overwatch not only reimagined gameplay, but also the representation possible in class-based shooters. Blizzard's influence is everywhere. And then president of Blizzard, Mike Ybarra, does come onto the stage, talks about the new era of Blizzard, talks about everything with Xbox and that's going on. And he says this: part of what makes this such an exciting time for Blizzard is that we've never been more empowered, free, and dedicated to holding true to what makes Blizzard unique than we are today. This is the start of a new era, so much more is possible. So that was, I guess, the extent to the Xbox present at BlizzCon, which is kind of a weird way to put it because BlizzCon and Blizzard and Activision, they are Xbox now. So whatever they do is what Xbox does. But because it's a brand new acquisition, having Phil Spencer there is that signal that it is now one big company and one big first-party production system from all of the other Xbox first-party studios, plus the Blizzard stuff. And when Blizzard talks about having, I guess, more freedom and more excitement now to go out there and kind of do what they want, it is true. I mean, they're under a bigger company. They're under $1 trillion company here that has insane amount of resources, already a ton of other studios under their wings with technologies and employees and just experiences that will help bring all of these games together and all of these developers together to make some great stuff. And I think now under Xbox, there is a lot more leeway here where they will jump in there and make games that they haven't brought out in a while. For example, if they were to make a new StarCraft, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like now under Xbox, that is a possibility, and that's why this is so exciting. We've seen what Xbox has done with their other acquisitions. We see that with Bethesda, they greenlit a bunch of stuff that maybe they wouldn't have been greenlit before, specifically a game like Pentiment. We've also seen them greenlight games like Grounded and Bleeding Edge. One game that has been wildly successful in Grounded and another one in Bleeding Edge that failed, but Xbox allows the developers to go out there and make those games. And then you think about Sea of Thieves from Rare. Who would have thought that that would have been their next game, and who would have thought how successful that was going to end up being? Maybe it would have never happened if they weren't under Xbox. So there's many examples here where Xbox gives that creative freedom, and I think it will be absolutely no different here with Activision Blizzard. Again, one of the things that I hope happens is that they take a different approach when it comes to the Call of Duty series. Right now, I'm playing through Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 through the campaign. The campaign itself is, as usual, just like last year's with Modern Warfare 2, one of the best looking and sounding games out there. I haven't gone all the way through it yet, but it is probably one of the weaker campaigns that Call of Duty has put out in a while, at least from the Modern Warfare series. So I think now is where Xbox is going to be able to come in and just flesh out stuff like that, give more time to create experiences that will be more worthwhile and more meaningful going forward. So this is why I think there's a lot of excitement there when it comes to this acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Now, Activision Blizzard is studios that we've been talking a lot about, and quietly here, we are seeing Xbox go against the grain in what is happening here with the gaming industry. We see PlayStation over the last weeks or so making cuts, firing people, huge executives leaving, shrinking, and Xbox is doing the exact opposite here. They are expanding, as there's a good announcement here for Machine Games as they're opening up a new studio in Sweden. It says here that as revealed by Games Reactor, the Swedish developer has opened up another studio in its native country, this time in the region of Norrland. And here's a quote from Machine Games on the move. And it's roughly translated from Sweden, so it may be slightly off, but here is kind of what they have to say. As a game developer, you're always on the lookout for new talent. Opening a satellite office in northern Sweden gives us the opportunity to recruit from the large number of experienced developers in the region who may not have the opportunity to move our headquarters in Uppsala. I'm not sure how you say that, but this is a very positive news during a time in the games industry that it's not just PlayStation, it's everywhere, where studios are getting cuts, people are getting laid off. There's a lot of turmoil, and there's a lot of negativity right now in terms of the employment sides of video games. And Xbox here is expanding out with Machine Games, meaning more people will get employed, more games will be made. We know Machine Games is working on the Indiana Jones, which hopefully we will see in 2024 and get a sneak peek as to what that game is going to be all about. We also know that in terms of Wolfenstein 3, that is going to be in development. That is going to be coming out at some point. So maybe they're opening up this new studio so they can work on multiple projects at the same time and give us more games faster. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There are so many games that are coming out. There's so many first-party Xbox studios. Everybody, I think, would be in agreement that it's not just about getting the games out, it's about making sure that they come out and they are high quality and they are fun and they don't have an insane amount of bugs and stuff like that, which they faulted with that with Redfall, of course, at launch. They put out that update, which has been a big improvement. Then they didn't make that same mistake with Bethesda or with Starfield. And one of the things that I think that they have done in place to make sure that the Redfall situation doesn't happen again is that whole reorganization, that whole structure where there's going to be more people to go through, more quality assurance to make sure that games are released in a good state. But yeah, this is good news here in a time where it's been just pure negativity with layoffs and everything, even with the whole Bungie situation at PlayStation. So great to see Machine Games expanding and opening up another studio. Now, finally, let's end off here. Let's talk about Baldur's Gate 3, because we've heard speculation that this game is still coming out in 2023. They have confirmed, essentially. I mean, Larian has confirmed that it's still on track. It will release before the end of this year. We know what happened with this game with the whole split screen thing. And the whole split screen thing with Baldur's Gate 3 and the Xbox Series S, they kind of saying that it was the Series S holding that back and making it difficult for them. I think we've seen a couple of games come out in the last week that really prove it all comes down to the developers and what they're able to do and how they're able to handle optimization, how they're able to handle the tools in using Xbox and the Xbox Series S. There's two games. There's Alan Wake 2 that looks incredible no matter where you're playing. looks great on the Xbox Series S. And for them to be able to pull off what they did with that game on that console, I think is phenomenal. And then again, I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I'm playing it on my Series X, but I've played some of it on my Xbox Series S, and it looks phenomenal on the Xbox Series S as well. So to see some games have no issues with getting games to run properly on that $300 console is insane how good that value is. It's a big contrast when you see a studio like Larian, who has such issues with the Series S, specifically obviously with the split screen, but it's with also a game that I would say looks significantly worse than some of the games that just recently did come out. But on the bright side, they have finally been able to get that optimization down. They dropped the split screen, and there are some claims here from Exputer that the Xbox Series X and S release for Baldur's Gate 3 is set to take place on December 6th, 2023. And this is from sources that have confirmed that internal target date. So look out for that. It's about a month out. And I feel like that's a good time. December is probably a good time with everything that is coming out, everything that is out right now. December at the beginning of the month, maybe more people will be interested in playing Baldur's Gate 3 on the Xbox Series X and S. And a game that is going to be, I'm sure, nominated for a significant amount of awards at the Game Awards and probably be up there for a Game of the Year candidate, maybe even taking home that prize. So game looking like it is still going to be coming out this year. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.